Welcome to the SpinPlay SDK for Unity. This tutorial will show you how to build an Android project that plays streaming 360-degree video using the Open Projection format, also known as OPF. We'll start by building a simple video player, then we'll extend the player to support play, pause, seek, and timeline behavior. Before we begin, make sure that you've set up and configured Unity for Android development. If you're using the Samsung Gear VR for testing, also be sure to log into your Oculus development account and use the OSIG generator to create a signature file for your device. First, start Unity. Then click New to create a new project. Give the project a name like My Project and click the Create Project button. To configure the project to build an Android app, pull down the File menu and select Build Settings. Choose Android, then click the Switch Platform button. To view the project in VR, we need to add a VR SDK. Click the Player Settings button. Then, in the inspector, check the Virtual Reality Supported checkbox. Next, click the plus button and add at least one SDK to the list. For this example, I'll choose Oculus. To build and deploy an Android project, Unity requires a unique package name. Find package name under the identification heading and change it to something like com.pixvana.myproject. Then close the Build Settings window. Because I'm using a Gear VR, I need to import the Oculus signature file that I generated for my device. Note that this step isn't necessary if you're building for Daydream or Cardboard. Before we can use the SpinPlay SDK, it needs to be imported into our project. To import the SDK, pull down the Assets menu, select Import Package, then Custom Package. Navigate to the folder that contains the SpinPlay SDK Unity package file. Select the file and click Open. Unity will display a window that lists the files that are contained in the SDK. Click the Import button to import all of the files into your project. After Unity has imported all of the files, the SpinPlay SDK settings window appears. This window makes it easy to configure your project to support 360-degree video using a head-mounted display. To accept the recommended settings, click the Accept All button. A window should confirm that all settings have been applied. Click OK to continue. The SpinPlay SDK uses two Unity layers to support stereo playback. To create the layers, click the Layers drop-down, then select Edit Layers. Click the small triangle to expand the Layers section, then add two new user layers in any of the available slots. Name the first layer Left and the second layer Right. To play streaming OPF video, the SpinPlay SDK requires the coordination of four components. A camera rig component controls two cameras for monoscopic and stereoscopic playback. An HMD component provides an abstract way to interact with head-mounted displays. It reports information like current head orientation and position. A player component understands how to stream standard MP4 and MPEG- media and render video frames to a Unity texture. A projector component parses OPF files and coordinates with the camera rig, HMD, and player to set up and orient projection geometry. To add all four of these components to a scene, right-click somewhere in Unity's Hierarchy window, select SpinPlay SDK from the pop-up menu, then Projector. Select the projector in the Hierarchy window. Then, in the inspector, enter an OPF address into the projector's source URL field. Pull down the File menu, select Build and Run, then click the Build and Run button. Enter a file name like My Project, then select Save to view the project on your device. Now that we know how to stream video, let's add some player controls. The SpinPlay SDK comes with an example controls canvas prefab that makes it easy to add pause, play, seek, and timeline functionality to your project. Close the Build Settings window, then click the small triangle to the left of the SpinPlay SDK folder in the Unity project window to expand its contents. Then select the Prefabs folder. To add the prefab to the scene, click and drag the Controls Canvas prefab to the Hierarchy window, then let go. Now that we've added the prefab to our scene, we need to let the player controls know which player it should control. Click the triangle to the left of the Controls canvas to expand it. Do the same thing with the Controls panel. Finally, select the player controls. To assign the player, click the small dot to the right of the player setting in the inspector to show the Select Player Base pop-up window. Double-click the projector entry to connect it to the player component that is part of our projector. To add touchpad support for the Gear VR, we need to import the Oculus utilities for Unity. If you're using a Daydream device, you'll want to import the Google VR SDK for Unity instead. Like we imported the SpinPlay SDK, pull down the Assets menu, select Import Package, then Custom Package. Navigate to the folder that contains the Oculus Utilities for Unity asset package, select the file, then click Open. Click the Import button to add all of the files to the project. Now, we need to let the SpinPlay SDK know that we've added Oculus support. To do that, expand the Scripts folder in the project window, select the Extras folder, then double-click the Controller Manager script to open it in your editor. Uncomment the Define for Oculus Utilities installed, and choose File, then Save, to save the change. Next, we need to add the Controller Manager to our Unity scene. Return to Unity and drag the Controller Manager script from the project window to the Controls canvas in the Hierarchy window, then let go. Finally, pull down the File menu and select Build and Run to test the project on your device. You should see a translucent user interface control on top of the video that includes a play-pause button along with a timeline. You can tap the Oculus touchpad to pause or play the video. Swipe forward to seek forward 10 seconds. Swipe backward to seek backward 10 seconds. The player controls will automatically fade out after 5 seconds of inactivity. Touch anywhere on the touchpad to show them again. The SpinPlay SDK also contains 2 example scenes that illustrate basic streaming functionality. The example scenes can be found in the Scenes subfolder. Example 1 demonstrates a player based on this tutorial. Example 2 demonstrates a programmatic approach to playing OPF streams. Look at the example2.cs script in the Scripts Examples folder for details. Be sure to reference the full SpinPlay SDK documentation for more information on all available classes, properties, and methods. Thanks for watching, and good luck building your own player.